the population reached to 8 billion people, and then reducing. And scenario A2, very low economic development. This is a total GDP in the world by US dollars. But in this case, population continues to rise, and it becomes the end of this century, the population will reach to 14 billion people. This year, the population becomes, this October, the world population reached to 70 billion. And B1 scenario and B2 scenario. But we set the scenario using the scenario of A1, B scenarios. Economic development can be achieved. So the population will reach to the 8 billion people in 2050 and then gradually reduced. This story is very interesting. In Japan, we are losing people because we don't have couples, we don't get married, and also we don't have babies. So the number of population of Japan is gradually decreasing now. So our population is now 12 million people live in Japan. But after year 2100, 100 years later, our population is said to be maybe 50%, maybe 50 million or something like that. So we are losing population. And also in China, you're also losing your population in China too. So based on this story, we calculate the future projection, future crop yield in China by using GCM, general circulation models, outputs of temperature and precipitation. And this is maize, as for the maize yield, calculated maize yield actual, and maize yield continue to rise every 5 years in China, in case of China. And rice yield from 1961 to 2008, comparing with actual values and calculated values. And as for the rice, you will increase the crop yield. And soybean yield is interesting. Your crop yield production in China will not increase, coming to the most levels 5-10 years later, and then it's steady. And as for the maize, you will continue to rise in China. So this is our results of the future projection of soybean, wheat, maize, and rice. And we conducted the future scenarios in the global scale, and I'm going to give a talk about these results the day after tomorrow in Beijing at the international conference organized by the Chinese Academy of Agriculture. So now we are moving to the topics of we have to stop the global warming. So how can we stop the global warming? Global warming may causes climate change, heavy rain, drought, or hot summer, or cold winter. So, or sea ice extent, or snow cover extent might change. So we have to stop. How can we reduce greenhouse gas? Is my final presentation. So I will show you one example of the movies. provided by the United Nations for 5 minutes. Maybe you might feel sleepy, so I will show you the movie ね。Just a moment. ムービーは、じゃあ、ムービーがどっかに消えてしまった。Sorry, I'm looking for the movie, but I cannot find the movie. Just a moment, please. ムービー。あれムービーが、Sorry, I lost the movie file. Just a moment ね。あった。OK, sorry.
The work which UNEP is leading is so important because it's going to help us to measure something we haven't been able to measure well enough in the past. Good governance is the keyword in terms of not only how governance is run, but also for our companies.
We could think, what's in it for us? But we no longer have that luxury. We now have to start thinking, what is in it for my neighbor as well as for the poor people of the world? We have to realize we're in a global crisis that requires global cooperation. Solar panels, wind turbines, constructing fuel-efficient cars and buildings, and developing the new energy technologies that will lead to more jobs, more savings, and a cleaner, safer planet in the market.
This is so-called Green New Deal. Maybe some of you might have heard of that, Green New Deal. New Deal is conducted by the Franklin Roosevelt around 1930s. So finally my presentation topic is related to the environmentally friendly companies. Finally my presentation. So just a moment please. GDIN, I have two PowerPoint files. GDIN A, B here. So, sorry in Japanese. The Japanese letter is very similar to that of Chinese, so maybe you can imagine what we say. So the final my topic is very simple. If a company pays more attention to the environment, that companies can gain the profit. It is so-called Potter hypothesis. By professor at Harvard Universities. Okay, so I will show you the examples. So we conducted the Japanese companies in the steel companies, and Japan SANY0176 and JP Holdings, and also the agriculture, Asahi Brewery companies, and Kimball and Suntory, and Panasonic, and NEC, and Xerox, and Sharp. And also we have the very big, strong logistics company, Sagawa Kirin, and also Kansai Electric companies, and Osaka Gas companies, and construction, Kajima Construction companies, and Sompo Japan. So I will show you some examples, the activities of Japanese companies. So this is the insurance companies. So they are making eco-fund, and they have put much emphasis on SRI, socially responsibility investment. And also they are making products of eco-funds. And also they are making insurance related to the land contaminations. And eco-fund. Eco-fund is now selling in good sales. And Suntory is one of the biggest brewery companies, and they told us that consumer is very, very keen for the price. So the prices comes fast, and in that case, it is difficult to think of the environment. But they are using new technology for the processing the water. So they could reduce the electric fees, and they could reduce the waste by 1/3. And also, they are making Suntory companies, they are making a whiskey. So from the waste of the whiskey, they made fertilizers and sell it. And also they have the carbon dioxide while making a whiskey or beers, but they are recycling the carbon dioxide again. And Asahi Brewery companies, they are using forestry management systems. And they are doing, they taught us that they are put more emphasis on the waters. And maybe Asahi Brewery company is invest here in China. And also they are working for the reducing the global warming. And logistics company is now doing a new technology. They are doing the new way of picking up systems, and they are making more profits. And also, Saga Kirin is now trying to have a network in China too. And they are using natural gas trucks, and also they are using railways as a transportation. And they are using natural gas trucks. So they are doing comments as several kinds to us. And NEC computer company, they are put emphasis on the reuse and recycle message, and also the energy saving methodologies. So this is only the very small example of the Japanese companies, but nowadays more and more companies in the world, they are paying more attention to the environment, and they are getting more profits. So it's your task for you to find the solution for the future. And so finally, I will show you some of the pictures I took just for fun. I will show you some pictures. Okay, this is a picture I showed before. This is a picture I took in the Sea of Okhotsk in the northern parts of Hokkaido. If you come in February, you will see the sea ice on the sea. And this is a forestry in Australia, in Melbourne. They are planting trees like this. I mean, those areas used to be farmland, but they are, instead of making a cultivation, they are planting trees like this. And forestry, you can see this is the forest areas, agricultural areas. But instead of planting maize, soybean, or other agricultural products, but they are planting trees like this and making a chips, something like this. And also this picture I took in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. The people in Chiang Mai, they have the habit of eating insects, these insects. So maybe, I'm not sure, maybe, I tried to find the insects here in Jilin, but I cannot match that. But in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, people are eating insects and sell it in the shop. Like this. You don't like that. You don't like that. This is a imomushi. This tastes very good. It sounds like a kappai design in Japan. So And this is we visited Chiang Mai University, and she's the vice president of the Chiang Mai University. And we visited the university in Thailand. There's a picture of the king and princess, king and and king's wife. And also in Chiang Mai, they are making a Yatrofa project. Yatrofa is kind of a plant-based nuts. It's something like nuts, but they can burn. They can make it the fuel. So they are producing fuels from the plant. So this is the experimental facilities. And he's my friend. He's a Professor Dr. Ichinose, and he's giving a talk. He's also teaching in China, but in Chinese. He's giving his talk in Chinese. And this is the machinery. And also this is another place. This is a picture of Japanese countryside. Because we don't have flat land in Japan, so in the mountain areas there are many paddy fields like this. So we have this one in Japan. This is a typical scenery of mountainous area in Japan. So the size of the crop land is not so big. This is a picture in Japan. And this is a picture I took in Nepal, in Kathmandu, the other side of Kathmandu. The story is very interesting. You can see the 3 doors here, 3 doors. But it used to be one house. And his father and mother has 3 sons. So he has to divide their house into 3 parts for their house to give their son, for 3 sons. This is happened in rural areas in Kathmandu. And this Sunday, last Sunday, I had a chance going to the rural area of Jidin. And nowadays, in agricultural areas, this child, smaller child. So if you are the son of the farmers, it is often the case you are the single. You are one kid. And if you get married with a woman in agricultural area, she's also the single, one woman. So if you get married, you will have twice. I mean, you will have get the agriculture area from your parents, and your wife will get the agriculture area from her parents. So the agriculture land area becomes doubles. So the size of the agriculture area is increasing gradually in China, urban and China agricultural areas. I heard of that. And this is the scenery, very close to the Kathmandu. Very beautiful scenery, like this. And this is the Tribhuvan universities. And this is the picture in Nepal. And in Nepal, the security check is very serious, like this. And this picture is I took in from Nepal to Bangkok. And under this there are Bangladesh, and I could see the brown water because of the flood events now going on. And this is in Bangkok, in Asian Institute of Technology, at this time of last year. And during these days, there are many factories here along the road, but now I have that those road is under the water now, big roads. And this is the sky train from the airport to the center of Bangkok city. Sky train. And you can see a very big advertisement of Samsung here. And you can see small advertisement of Mitsubishi Electric companies. And you can, this is the entrance of sky trains in Bangkok. And this picture I took in Mumbai. Every day it rains very heavily. So this is I took this picture in the Institute of Technology, IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, one of the top university in the world, and I visited there. So I took there on campus, but it rains very heavily at that time. This picture I showed before. And then I moved to the Italy. This thing I took a picture in Naples in Italy, but it's more humid last year. And he's my friend, Professor Dilios at Orientale. And this is Italian by pasta with a taste, delicious, it's very delicious. And they are my friends in Italy. And in Zurich, the atmosphere is different. And I used to study in Zurich in Switzerland, and he used to be my supervisor. And also my colleague is coming from the newspaper companies, and he conducted an interview in the Air Force One into the Clinton in the airplane. So he gave them a picture, this one. And this is White House. And also there are museum, new opened museum, not museum, but museum in Washington, D.C. And in New York City, the advertising very interesting. If you don't care, you'll be charged $100. And also Times Square, the picture of Times Square in New York. And this I visited NASA in New York, and she's very famous researcher working for NASA. And this is the night pictures. Okay, anyway, so I will finish my presentation. Thank you. Would you please turn on the light? Thank you. 電気つけてもらっていいですか? Would you please turn on the light? Okay, so we have, I heard that time is in the 5:30, so we start time. So if you have any questions, please.
Thank you, Professor. And first, I have to say I really appreciate your speech and I learned a lot from you. And my question is, I know just besides the technology, I mean green technology, and the carbon trade can also reduce the local carbon. So but as far as I know, Japan has not built a perfect carbon trade system domestically, and nowadays, Japan has not played a really perfect role in the international carbon trade. So my question is, what role will Japan play in the future? I mean, in low carbon economics and international trade. Thank you.
Thank you. Very difficult question. Very difficult question. We are trying to play the important role for the carbon trade, carbon dioxide trade, emission trade. But the emission trade has several problems because the problem of the absorption is not so clear. In which part, if there is a forest, how many percentage of absorption is happening? It's not clear now. So the emission trade, there are kind of they make the hacking. You know the hacking? The emission trade system is invaded by the computer security system is not so strong. So someone enters the computer and they lose emission money from the computer. So nowadays it's stopping now. So now they are trying to recover. But the emission trade system is not so strong like that of the banking system. So that's one problem. And Japan, as our former Prime Minister Hatayama-san announced that we will reduce 25% of carbon dioxide last year at the United Nations meeting. But the problem, and at that time, we are going to build more than 30 nuclear power plants to reduce the carbon dioxide. But as you know, because we had a very serious problem at the Fukushima nuclear power plant accident, so the Japanese people, we have to change direction to not using nuclear power plants. So that will make our policy more difficult situation, and nobody knows. So now it's time of this kind of confusion. We are in the process of confusion. So, but I think my idea, maybe your country in China, we are going to make a nuclear power plant. Still, we are going to make a nuclear power plant. So maybe we have the technologies. So the Japanese companies will support or instruct making a new power plant in China also. Yeah. So my idea is maybe Japan, China and Japan and Korea will unite together, and we have to make new rules or something. So it's your role. Your future. Yeah, thank you for comment. It was very nice good question. Wow, your English is very good. Very good.
Okay, thank you, Professor. You said that we must take measures to stop the greenhouse influence. But as far as I know, that many developed countries invest in developing countries, and so I wonder what you think of this behavior. Is it really helpful for stopping the greenhouse influence?
Maybe we have to stop producing greenhouse gas, of course. But to do that, maybe innovation plays very important role. Innovation. Technological innovation. For example, there are several things. For example, we have snow in summertime. And in Japan, we also have snow in wintertime. So I have graduated from Hokkaido University in the northern part of Japan. So recently, sometimes I go there. I go to the Hokkaido University to do lecture there. And they are making very interesting. They are making a very big hole on campus. And they save the snow during the winter time. And pack. And then summer comes. So they use snow to cool up, using cooling the building for the snow. So this is one example of the innovation. And also we also have we are now put more emphasis on using electric vehicles. Electric vehicle does not produce carbon dioxide when they drive. Of course, as a stage of making a car, they might use more carbon dioxide, more energy. But as far as running the car, they don't produce carbon emission. So maybe we have the strategies and we have new innovations and the new technology will make it possible for us to reduce the emission, carbon dioxide. It's maybe there we have the possibility to reduce carbon dioxide. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Are there any questions, please?
Nice to meet you, Professor.
Nice to meet you.
Through lectures, I'm now very interested in jazz in software. Yeah. And thank you for teaching us a good method to analyze the statistics. And in recent years in China, some economists and researchers are doing some research in the field of the productions of the crops in the near future. And a lot of figures show that by 2020, there will be a great shortage in the crop supply and demand. And agriculture almost depended on the conditions of the nature of the climate change. That is to say, if some disasters like flood, earthquakes, and other disasters happen, it will pose a big threat on the production of agriculture. So I want to know if you can share your opinions or your idea in terms of Japan on how to improve our ability to make a good preparations for the coming disasters and how to reduce the great loss of agriculture.
Okay, thank you. Your question is very interesting. There are several solutions. And one solution is making a factory system. Like in the building, you can make a vegetable or you can make a crops. And another way is maybe you should improve the seeds. For example, if there is one example, for example, if there is a flood, but all fashion, all types of paddy fields, they cannot survive because water comes. But because of the technological innovations, if the water comes, they can survive for a couple of days without care. So if the floods finish, so they can again live again. So that is another story. And also, most important thing is that world population is not expected to increase so dramatically. For example, in China, you have the one child, and it succeeded. So the population in China is going to decrease in 20 or 30 years later. And also in India, have you ever heard of the name of the movie entitled Slumdog Millionaire? Do you know? Slumdog, do you know? Yeah, Slumdog Millionaire is a Jamal. Jamal is a Slumdog Millionaire. Yeah. Please explain to the Chinese name in the Slumdog Millionaire. Pinyon Barto. Okay. And that movie tells us many things. For example, Jamal is coming from the countryside. Okay. And Jamal is coming from countryside, and his father is a farmer. And his father's annual income is almost maybe 100,000 yuan, or 500,000 yuan, very small amount of money he can earn. But if he comes to the city center, and as you know, in India there's a caste system, so-called caste system. As for the information technology field, around 200 or 300 years ago, no information technology system equipped. So the IT job, information technology job is free from the caste system. So the people, in a very poor people, are willing to work in the field of information technology, and they become rich. So the more and more farmers' son and daughter coming to the city area, and they learn to speak English, and they trying to be rich. So also in India, the population in India is not so big dramatically. There were less people. And also I was in Vancouver this August for 3 weeks, and there are many farmers coming from India to Canada to conduct agriculture. So maybe my idea is, his question is very interesting, but maybe because of the development of the information technology, and they will know, if the farmers educate their son well, so their son's income is much better, so they stop having more babies. They only have 1 or 2 babies, so the population will become steady. So in that case, in that sense, the shortage of food will not come true. Then another idea. So maybe we have to think of not only the technological innovations and agricultural production, but we also think of the total number of population. And also we have the network, and we have the early warning system. We have the network, so we can forecast. In this area, the flood event will happen in 1 month later or something like that. So maybe we have to make a kind of a portfolio for making a new way of preventing. That's my idea. So thank you very much. And do you have any other questions? Please ask.
Okay. By the way, by my France country, and you just said that the population will just decrease. And not only Japan, but also China. But by the way, here's another question. And if the population is decreasing, and there are many old men in a society, so we don't have enough population to create goods and other the goods to just support the whole society. So and there is another question, and especially the insurance, the society insurance is large and is disgracing the whole country. So there, how can we deal with this question?
Okay. Yeah, a very interesting question. Another because you belong to the faculty of agriculture. This is the faculty of agriculture. Is it?
Yeah.
This is agriculture. So my idea is if people stop working, if age 6 years old, they should go to the countryside or near the city but country area. So they can cultivate for fun, for the hobbies. So maybe this phenomenon is not happening in Japan too, because it is often the case if you work for a company in Japan, people stop working at 6 years, when he is 6 years old. So in that case, he sells a house in the city center and buys another house in the countryside, but near the city. And they started to plant they started the agriculture. So they don't have to spend money on buying food, but they can enjoy agriculture and they can have their own food. And also they work every day, so they will become healthy. And also he will accept his son's son, the grandchild, and calling grandchild to their house, and let them work. It's good for the education too. Instead of instead of doing the TV game, but the child is expected to work together with their grandfather. So this system is now getting popular in Japan, and also in Germany. In Germany or in European countries, this system is from the old times exists. Even if in Moscow, in Russian people, even if he is not so rich, but he has a house in the countryside. So they make their own agricultural product by themselves for them to survive. So there may be my idea in China. Maybe people should move from the city center to the countryside, but not so far away from the city. Maybe there must be kind of a public transportation. Maybe like to rail or something like that. And then people can easily access the city center to meet with the farmers. In that case, maybe the system might become good. So because I talked with the vice president yesterday, and he's my friend is working for Stanford University. He's a postdoctor, and my friend and I am joined the same ski team at Stanford University. And also I talked with your vice president. Oh, please make a ski area. Start a ski area in Jilin province. So maybe in the countryside, if there is a ski area, people are coming from the city center to enjoy the ski. So they can make money during the agriculture of season. So the next time you have a chance coming here again, I want to go ski to him. I said to him. He said, okay, yes.
Yeah, by the way, the sun is really great and lovely.
Lovely.
Kawaii.
Kawaii. My son. My son, thank you. My son is very kawaii. Thank you. And do you have any other questions? Yes.
Well, I have a Japanese friend online, and after the earthquake in March, the whole family of kids moved to Seattle. Yeah, because of the disaster. So I wonder, do you think the disaster, because of the influence of greenhouse or melting sea ice, will be another reason for the flood of immigrants in the future?
Yeah, yes. Your answer is right. And maybe your friend is afraid of nuclear power plant accidents, I think so. So we have the very serious problem with nuclear power plants. So in that sense, maybe some of the people are moving outside of Japan, but some are not. It depends on the people. And maybe the question is very difficult. It's your friend's decision. But I love Japan. I don't want to move Japan. Maybe I will stay in Japan, but I love traveling. So I go to the place and exchange information. I'm kind of making a network. It's my task, I think.
But I mean, for the poor world, do you think that more and more people will move to another country because of the disaster in their homeland?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Yeah. Because people like the place where they live, where they born. And if they move to another place, then I think they will lonely. And also the most important thing, if you, for example, medical care system, for example. Medical care system in Japan is one of the best in the world. Because you can take medical care almost for free. If you, it is nothing to do with the income. But in America, for you to get if you don't have credit card, for example, if you are hit by the car on the street, and if you are moving to the hospital, oh, doctor, help me, if you say so, but doctor says, oh, please show your credit card. And if you don't have your credit card, you cannot take a medical treatment. So I don't like that. So maybe from the point of the medical care, some Japanese families go to the abroad after their time. But the medical care system, like Japan, does not exist. So that they are coming back to Japan. So not only the disaster, but the medical insurance system, another, and the food, another thing also important issue. But I think more and more Chinese people are coming to Canada. Vancouver. I saw many Chinese in Vancouver, Canada, and also I saw so many Chinese in Stanford, in San Francisco. And I visited Berkeley, California University, Berkeley. I have a friend there, and I visit there. And almost on campus, the scenery on campus sounds like this, the same. No white people. Almost 8% people are Chinese or Korean. And they must have right to see that. So Chinese people are very aggressive, and they have the power, and they have the network. So they have the, every town, even in New York, I saw the China towns there. We have a strong network in the world. So, thank you. Any other questions?
It's not much Africa is to a great shortage of food and something else. I thought that is there any for Japan, right, to make a difference to Africa. For example, to science technology and some money or something else to make a difference to Africa.
Sorry, your question. Sorry, I don't understand this question. Sorry, it's okay. Please try.
Yeah. I thought that is there any plan for Japan to Africa and to make a difference to change the shortage of food or something else. For example, to stand science technology, money or something else.
Your question is good because the Japanese law. What do you ask your question? Japanese, what should I do? Japanese should I do? Okay. Okay. And his question is very interesting. Japanese law. What Japan should do for the shortage of food in the world? Okay. We are doing many things. One example is we have the top technology of the making a river, for example. River. I mean, they have the top technology of the building a house or building the agriculture area. Irrigation. Will you please explain to us? Irrigation. Do you know the word of irrigation? Agriculture, improving the agricultural area. Agriculture land. Right. Anyway, so we have the technology. Irrigation.
To put some water to the house.
Yes.
About that.
Put some water in the agriculture area. And also including the plants. So we have the responsibility for that. で、あと、African countries, they are very natural in a hard situation. Because Africa is kind of it's kind of a borders. The drought areas and the wet areas, it's kind of a border in Africa. So they have now suffering from the serious impact of climate change. The African people, population, we have to take care of African people. But maybe Africa used to be a colony of the Eastern European countries. So European countries have more strong relationship with African countries. そこはvery difficult relation. データを please come and ask the question. Do you have any question? Okay. So maybe once we stop, and if any other people who want to talk with me, I talk with you. Okay. So thank you.
最后呢，让我们大家以热烈的掌声对教授的讲座表示感谢。
mail address. They have the mail address. The computer. Where are the computer? I did it on my computer. You type the email address.